Dang, good morning everyone. Finally back to some interesting content on my Buhurt channel. So today we're going to test out 3 types of armor, and by armor I mean metal. So 3 types of metal: mild steel, which is like a soft steel; hardened steel, guess what, hard; and titanium, hard and light. So we're going to go through the costage of it, some of the specifications of each metal: low carbon, high carbon, titanium, rust, cost, what the metal's used for in day-to-day usage, and then put it back into Buhurt terms. And then we're going to test them. We're going to test them out on some cow bones, which brings us to our first sponsor of the day. There's a few today, so apologies for keep coming through. We'll keep quick, which would be Heidelberg Meats. Massive shout out to Heidelberg Meats for donating these 2 massive cow bones that were going to be our knight's arms today, and hopefully they will get protected by the armor. Go check them out. Shop 38, The Mall, Bell Street, Heidelberg West, Victoria 3081. Without you, this video could not have been possible, so once again, thank you so much. Go check them out. Awesome. So we're going to put the padding on the armor plates. They're just bicep armor. This exactly the same padding that I would wear with my armor. So we're going to have a gambeson, we're going to have padding, and the arm is going to hang freely, just like getting chopped with an axe. Yes, there's no meat or muscle on the bones, but you can also put that back to the shin bone. You know, you're allowed to get hit in front of the shin, and there's only just bone, padding, and steel. So that's a good representation. Really would be a shin armor, but it's easy to hang bicep armor. Weapons, we're going to use a heavy falchion. We're going to use a Buhurt axe. Let's go through specifications of mild steel, hardened steel, and titanium. Moved into the kitchen because the lighting's way better and there's cats in here. All right, so the first bit of metal we're going to go through is mild steel. So as you can see, there's tiny little bits of differences on the way they look, but really overall you can't really tell that at a closer look. All right, let's go through some of the mild steel specifications, and I am going to read some of this off my phone because I'm not a blacksmith, I'm not a boil maker, I'm nothing. I'm literally an ex-army dude that has no idea what he's talking about when it comes to things like this. So mild steel, this bad boy we just went over. So it's mostly iron with 0.05 to 0.25 carbon. The strength of it, it's relatively soft and it's easy to shape. The hardness, so it's a low hardness and it can be bent or deformed under stress. The weight of it, heavy. So it is quite a heavy metal. The corrosion resistant is low, so this does rust super easy. What this is used for usually is construction, brackets, and low stress tools. Pros of mild steel, it's just cheap, easy to work with, easy to weld and fabricate. So those are the pros. And the cons, it's weak, it's prone to rust, and wears down fast. So in Buhurt terms, maintenance, it's a lot of work to keep rust free, because rust obviously weakens the metal. It will bend and dint, so later on we're going to test how mild steel goes here to hit. But if you see old H&B tournaments, the All Battle of the Nations, you'll see a lot of helmets that look like they've got cellulites because they're mild steel. A lot of helmets back then, a lot of armor back then was mild steel. Once again, because it was cheap. But there is still, again, mild steel still does protect you. It's still quite, you know, even though it is soft, it does soak up a lot of the damage. So if you did have a really extreme budget that you cannot push left higher or right, mild steel is still a good choice for you. It's going to be cheap and it's a good starter kit. Look, Buhurt, it's a bit iffy because you're going to get hit very hard, but look, if money is money and down the track you could probably, you know, afford some more, you can swap out with hardened steel or titanium, which we're going to go through. Mild steel, it's been in the sport the whole time, so there's nothing completely wrong with it. All right, hardened steel. You can see on the back, you can see it's quite black because it has to be tempered. So this is mild steel. This has been put in the oven. This has been quenched. And it's quite hard. We thought hardened steel would be hard. Let's go through some specifications that I'm going to read off my phone. So composite, this steel has high carbon content and it's heat treated. Heat treated means it's heated up rapidly and then quenched in water or oil. If you've seen Forged in Fire, when they dip it in and flames go everywhere, it's called quenching. So the weight, heavy, it's still a heavy steel. Corrosion resistant, moderate, depends on what alloy you got. So rust, it still does rust, but not as much as mild steel. So uses for hard steel: blades, tools, and structural parts, gears. So the reason why I use it in weapons and tools is because it's hard and it's but it is brittle. So instead of bending like mild steel, hardened steel will just snap. It will just snap off, which is a test that blacksmiths do, is if they've got the quench right or the hardness right or the temper. I don't know what it is, I'm not a blacksmith. They put a blade in a vise and they hit it to see if it snaps and they look in. And I don't know what they're looking for. Comments below, let me know what they're looking for. Pros of hardened steel. It's durable, strong, and it holds shape. So unlike mild steel that bends and it stays where it is, this will bend a lot and it'll go back to its original shape. Cons, so it's brittle if not tempered correctly. Very hard to machine weld. So this is harder to weld than mild steel. Back into Buhurt terms, this is probably the most common armor is hardened steel. There's spring steel, there's all these other types of steel, but essentially it is hardened steel. My Buhurt armor is probably 85% titanium, but my shoulders will always be steel. My helmet will always be steel, hardened steel. And 50% of my gauntlet is steel. So the raised edges of my gauntlet is steel and the rest is titanium because it is the strongest and the most durable and soaks up a lot of damage. Hardened steel does its job, it's hard, it protects you, it absorbs damage very well. Hardened steel is a very good option for Buhurt armor, as well as your weapons. All your weapons, if you like a certain weapon, should be hardened steel because they will last a lot longer and they don't bend. Like hammer and scale, the axe I'll be using today, the home wrecker, I've got a lifetime warranty on that. So if that ever breaks, because he's so confident in it, he's like, I'll just make you a new one. So the armor that we're using today was made by my friend Bowen Slater. He can make you extremely light titanium armor. His brigs are currently at 4 kilos, which is extremely light, perfect for pro fight. He even does Buhurt with them. So here's his Instagram, check him out. Let's move into titanium, and as you're about to find out, picking up titanium is extremely super light. You can feel it as soon as you pick it up, it's night and day. It's like 45% less weight than hardened steel. Let's go through some specifications. So the composite, so what it's made of, pure titanium, high strength to weight ratio. So this is very strong for how light it is. Hardness, it's moderate to high depending on the alloy. It doesn't rust. It does not rust at all. So people will be cleaning out their armor and I can throw all my armor in my bag and get it out of there. It doesn't rust, but that doesn't mean the leather won't get damaged from moisture. So you gotta look after that. Uses, titanium used for aerospace, medical tools, or anything like that that needs to be super light, corrosion resistant for bacteria and rust. So pros of titanium, it's hard, it's light, super strong, and rust resistant. Cons of it, expensive, extremely hard to weld, and it's hard to work with. So even people trying to fold it, bend it, weld it. I know sometimes when I'm grinding my own titanium down, it's very dangerous. You need to wear a gas mask or have a vent in your system because you don't want to be breathing this stuff in. Back to Buhurt, titanium, amazing. I love it, I do love it, it's very expensive. But all my armor is titanium apart from, like I said before, shoulders, head, and half of my gauntlet. I'm a runner, so I run around, I need my speed, I need my weight, and I'm a small dude as well. So I like having light armor, but you give up that protection. So titanium, you feel a lot. It's like getting stung. It does sting as well as steel, but when you're in titanium, you feel it. But as a runner, I run around, I run away from people because I'm a coward. So it doesn't bother me too much. Yeah, titanium is an amazing option. It is super expensive, but you don't need titanium to fight at a high level. You don't need titanium at a high level at all. The more you train in your armor, the better you get. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna head outside and we're gonna set up the mannequin and we're gonna do some testing on all this steel. Let's go through today's main sponsor, which is Warmag. Warmag saw my really untidy way of keeping my minis and they had enough of it, so they sent me out some boxes, which is really, really awesome. Let's run through why they're so good. So Legends at Warmag sent me out 6 boxes with various base plate designs, which you get a pick from. So as you can see here with the base plate design, it is a large magnet. Just peel it off, stick it to the bottom and pat down. Now with the models themselves, they come out with multiple sizes to fit the base of your models. As you can see, just peel off and stick it on. I'll do a demonstration right now with my Astra Militarum. Boom, we just chuck one of those bad boys on, put it on the base plate, and as you see, they're not going anywhere, and it literally saves your models from breaking during travel, which is so satisfying. Now here's a time lapse of me putting my Dark Angels into the first tray, and honestly, it is very simple and very exciting. Put my first row of army with the magnets on. Look at that. That's insane. Still staying where they are. So they come in awesome boxes. You can clip off the side, boom, all your minis fit in there. They've got a large box for your large minis and your dreadnoughts. Here we go, here's the Warmag site. I've got the link in my bio, go check them out. Help protect your minis during transit, help organize them at home so they're not in cardboard boxes. But yeah, go give them a follow on Instagram, go check out their website and let me know what you think of their products via DMs. Once again, big thanks to Warmag for sponsoring this video. So we're gonna test out our mild steel armor first. So 3 strikes with a falchion, 3 strikes with a poleaxe. This is the Thunderstrike falchion from Medieval Extreme. Use code SRI for Expedition Worldwide. Alright, so 3 strikes with the falchion. Like I said at the start of the video, it is mild steel, so it's very soft and it does bend. But if I was to put this around a tree trunk or anything like that, I couldn't fold it back to nearly its original form. Let's check out the bone. So the thing's so bent it's like tightened up the strap because it's just flared out so much. Oh my god. Alright, well I can't really get that off, so I'm gonna have to hit it again to get it off. This is my 2-handed axe I use in Buhurt, the home wrecker. Made by Hammer and Scale and myself. Yeah, this is probably the hardest hitting axe that I own. So as you can see, the armor has bent so much that it's kind of caved in the bone. I understand that, you know, there's no muscle or anything on the bone. I think this could have been a shin bone, this could be a mild steel greave. So yeah, you can see the extreme damage. So yeah, that's, once we got the bone off. Oh, where are the other plates? Yeah, I started off, so that's the hardened steel, and that's the mild steel. So 3 strikes with the falchion, 2 with a 2-handed axe. Bit of a difference. Now we're going to use hardened steel. Same thing, 3 strikes with the falchion, 3 strikes with the axe. Didn't get a before shot, but as you can see, hardened steel, barely any damage at all. I hit down here, you can see that it's split a little bit right there. So I hit it here, I hit it, I don't even know if hardened steel is good. And I think there was another one, yeah, right here. So yeah, still a little bit tearage, but the armor held up. Hardened steel, as you can see, is exactly what you want. So exactly the same weapons, exactly the same weight. That's your mild steel. See? Completely deformed, the bone underneath shattered, and our hardened steel, pretty good. How's the bone looking down here? Bone's looking pretty good. No serious cracks. So let's try the titanium. So as you can see, titanium, no breakages in the armor, but it is deformed quite a bit. You can tell by the strap being super straight. So they should all be exactly the same curvature. And as you can see, that titanium is flattened out when the hardened steel has stayed its way. And then titanium's nice and flat now. Mild steel's done. Hardened steel it does have a crack because the brittleness I was talking about, but it's still good to go, barely anything else. So what the whole point of this video was to show you that the different types of materials and why there's a price difference. So hardened steel is obviously more expensive than mild steel, but cheaper than titanium, but it's the strongest and it will keep its rigidity. It's a big word. So even though it's not the most expensive, it is the most protected, but it is the heaviest, which is why people opt for titanium, because as you can see, it's still very strong, but it does bend and doesn't keep its shape. But nothing got through it, it didn't crack, unlike the hardened steel, but that could have been something to do with the temper. Titanium does crack it more, more tears more than cracking, if you know what I mean. If it's close to a rivet or anything, the rivet will tear down into a line. Mild steel will barely tear, but it will bend. But yeah, I hope this video has helped you pick in the future what armor want to purchase, and the reasons why there are different types of steel and why people warn against mild steel. Once again, if you're happy with this going on your head, look at that. Even though your helmets would probably made of thicker stuff, if you're happy with that being on your body while someone swings and actually, and I wasn't even swinging 100%, obviously due to my ankle, and there's some people out there that can hit 1,000 times harder than me. So mild steel, I wouldn't risk it. But a little bonus track. Remember those bonus tracks out in CDs back in the day? We're gonna hit these with a Warhammer. But I'm not gonna put a helmet on because it's too fucking hot. Let's check it out. So it's 2 strikes with the hammer. It actually did pierce through the armor. Not too bad. Not too bad. Is it mild steel? So mild steel, still not too bad. Still inserted a lot. But I'm sure if this was put on properly, like it'll do more damage. Oh yeah. And just for the fun of it, I'll use a flat. So hardened steel, like I was saying, is brittle. So see how it snaps? It is shattered all the way through. It's very weakened by the axe shot down here, definitely, because that's where it was cracked before. And that's where the flat of the hammer hit it. But it's from this strike here, it did start snapping. Unlike the mild steel, because it bends quite soft, it didn't shatter. It's not as brittle. Same with the titanium. It did a tiny bit of cracking, but it's still, I guess, softer than hardened steel. So once again, it's a very good demonstration of armor. So let's talk about price. Here are 2 sets of arms that are essentially the same, articulated arm armor. On the left, we've got hardened steel armor for $600 USD. Now on the right hand side, we've got titanium armor for $1,100 USD. So that's the price difference we're talking about when it comes between hardened steel and titanium. And I hope this video really helps you make that decision, because it is a lot of money. And yeah, I hope it's helped. I hope you had a fantastic time watching this video.
It's bonus track.
It's bonus track. Thank you so much for watching. More Buhurt content to come. I hope they can fight in the next 6 weeks. Did I hurt my ankle doing this time? No, I didn't. Thank God. But yeah, more Buhurt content to come. Check out my shooting channel, SRI Tactical. We're doing a little work on that, which is fun, more of a hobby than anything, but getting some good traction, so go check it out. But thank you so much. Pick your armor wisely. Stay safe out there, and if you can't stay safe, stay deadly. Like and subscribe.